Jurassic World Dominion is the newest addition to the Jurassic World franchise / Jurassic Park franchise, as this movie follows on from the previous movie Fallen Kingdom, in which all the dinosaurs were saved from extinction. Well, not all of them, a certain amount of dinosaurs were saved from extinction from the volcanic eruption, and are basically roaming around the likes of all these cities that citizens live in, whereas beforehand there was on a designated island. Now they're roaming around with humans, in which isn't really a good mix. However, they've got to learn to live with each other, and that's what this movie is all about. As at the end of the second movie, they escaped from Lockwood's house after the auction shit went down very badly, and they all escaped and ran away basically after they all fucking fucked the gaff up. Yeah, so they all ran away at the end of the second movie, and this movie is about coping with them, but it's not just about the coping with the dinosaurs. There's a side plot to this movie. Well, I would say it's a side plot, but it feels like the main thing, which is the thing with the Maisie Lockwood, as we know from the previous movie that the real self died, and we believe that she was created by Lockwood as a replacement for the death of the original Maisie Lockwood. However, this goes more in depth on her backstory, so let's get into it. So what I liked about this movie then is that it had a really interesting story compared to the previous movies, all the Jurassic World movies and all the Jurassic Park movies, as it had a different sort of vibe to it, as it weren't like the infamous franchise is known for, all about dinosaurs. The dinosaurs to me felt like a backstep. That wasn't the main thing here. It was more about the reuniting of the likes of the old characters coming back with Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern and all these coming back. And it also felt like the more of the Maisie Lockwood backstory. Most of this movie circulates around Maisie Lockwood, like we mentioned, and scientists want to find her as she is a clone and want to experiment on her to see how they can cure all these diseases and stuff, because she was injected with some sort of DNA changer in which her mother created. Oh, in fact, she has a mother, which we learn in this, as she always thought she was made as a clone for the original Maisie Lockwood. However, Maisie Lockwood was in fact her mother, and her mother created her without a mate. Yeah, it sounds complicated, and in a way it is quite complicated how they did this, but in all fairness, it worked okay, and that's the reason why these people want to get her, kidnap her, and test her. I also like how they brought some familiar faces back from the old Jurassic movies, as you had the likes of Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern coming back in, which felt a bit nostalgic in that atmosphere where it needed it, this movie did, because it was like, because apparently this was the last movie ever with Jurassic World, Jurassic Parks and all this shit. So to bring some of the old faces back was kind of expected, but something you needed in this movie just to give them their moment to shine, their sort of like goodbyes, and also give the likes of Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard their sort of moments as well, because they've been carrying this new franchise on, and it was great to finally see the ending with these all coming together, 2 generations of movies. I also thought the cast as a whole in this movie wasn't too shabby, as we saw the likes of the characters Owen and Claire coming back into this movie from their previous 2 movies in the Jurassic World franchise, and they were great. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard as the characters of Owen and Claire, it was great. They have really good chemistry on screen together. I felt that they were quite funny still. They still portrayed those characters fantastically, and yeah, I loved it. However, not everything in this movie smells of roses, as there's a big hint of shit. As this felt like I was eating a ham sandwich with 90% of shit in my mouth, as there was a big chunk of shit in my sandwich and I was eating this much ham and I got this big ball of shit in my hands. Ridiculous. As they sold us a big fucking lie, didn't they? They turned around and said this is the last Jurassic World movie, in which is the truth. However, they didn't think of telling people that this wasn't the main thing about the dinosaurs. They thought, no, we'll let them go to the cinemas and get really, really, really disappointed before we tell them that actually it's about Maisie Lockwood and it's about the old people coming back, coming out of the retirement home to come into this movie. And instead of telling people that it's going to be a big ball of mess, they just thought, let's let most of us go to the cinema, watch this shit, and be like, this was the biggest money grab of the century. Damn! As this just felt like Spider-Man 3. I love Spider-Man 3, and I think Spider-Man 3 is probably better than this movie, if I'm being perfectly honest. As Spider-Man 3 tried to cram 3 different things in. Green Goblin, Sandman, and Venom. All into one movie. That doesn't work. They tried that, it did not work. Spider-Man No Way Home, however, fitted all these things in and it worked. But enough said about Spider-Man, this is Jurassic World. And what they tried to do was fit the Maisie Lockwood thing, the old people coming back, and dinosaurs into one. And most movies have 2 main things to fit together. For instance, Jurassic Park, the dinosaur threat and the park coming together and building this park-like thing with dinosaurs being genetically created. Bosh, a movie. You've got your movie. Move on, no pun intended. However, this thought, you know what? The old people coming up, Maisie Lockwood and all this will just fit itself together. And it was like 3 different jigsaw pieces trying to fit together, and you're just like, knowing you've got that jigsaw piece and you know it doesn't fit, but you're jamming it in anyways and going, fucking have this. That's what this movie felt like. 3 different jigsaw pieces that you've just gone and fucking smashed together with a hammer and gone, that'll work. That's the jigsaw done, lads. And it just felt like a waste of my time, personally. And if I'm being honest, I would have rather sat there and watched paint dry, as this felt very, very underwhelming in terms of what was hyped up to be from Jurassic World 2. As I love the first 2 Jurassic World movies, I think they're excellent in what they're doing, and this one just fails to excite, as it was so predictable. They had the dinosaur battle at the end, like they do in every Jurassic World movie, a Jurassic Park movie, and like I said earlier, it is interesting how they did the Maisie Lockwood stuff, and they did put a backstep to the dinosaurs. However, this is a dinosaur movie. You can't take a backstep to dinosaurs in a dinosaur movie. That's like the shark in Jaws taking a huge backstep and going, no, I'm just going to turn up at the end. Okay, so it's not going to kill anyone, it's just going to turn up at the end. That's basically what the dinosaurs did. Yes, there was a little bit of a threat all the way around, like, oh, the dinosaur could come back in and eat me. Oh, this could happen, this. It was all if, buts and maybes. And hence why I did not like this movie, as it felt like they took a back step on something that should not take a back step on. And yeah, everything just felt forced together, like the end battle, like we were just going to go on to. With the T-Rex and the other dinosaur, the other big dinosaur, it's always the same. They've got to all come together, these dinosaurs, to take down the big dinosaur, and then the T-Rex just roars and everybody's happy. However, it didn't need that in this movie. It just didn't. To summarise this movie then, this movie felt very, very crammed, like Spider-Man 3 in a sense. However, it did have very nostalgic feels to it, as you brought the old characters back, and I thought that was great, which we mentioned earlier. And it was great to see the likes of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard back in this movie again. However, we cannot forget this is meant to be a dinosaur movie, and it kind of underperformed. Hence why I've rated this movie a 7.1 and a world-class film. Let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Laters.